Hi, my name is John Bannon. I'm an attorney and a philosopher. In this video, I'm going to show you that superdeterminism is proven by time. Now, when I talk about superdeterminism, I'm talking about a very unique and particular version of superdeterminism proven by Swedish theoretical physicist Johann Hansen, where he proved that we live in a static block universe without cause and effect in physics. You can find his proof in the physics peer reviewed journal Physics Essays, Volume 33, Number 2, 2020. So, time. Um, if time moves from the present to the future, then time would require its own time to change as it moves forward. So there's really two ways to think about time. One is this idea of moving time or dynamic time. And that's the idea that time is always unfolding on its own. Um, and the changes that occur in our environment are a result of time unfolding or moving or flowing forward. The other idea about time is that time is a static dimension of a block universe. This is the idea that started with Einstein's relativity, which says that we live in a fourth dimensional block universe with three dimensions of space and one dimension of time. So, if you look at the first idea of time, the idea of moving time, then if time moves, then it has to have its own time in order to move, because things that move in a duration of time. Well, if time moves, then it has to move in its own duration of time, which means it requires a time for time. Now, um, for example, if you think of a static object, this static object moves forward in time, not because the object's doing anything, but because time is moving forward. So it's very much like this. If a static object um, needs time in order to move forward, then time itself, in order to move forward, needs its own time. But that also means that the primary time is static, like this bottle. So a static object moved by time suggests that primary time would have to be static in order to be moved forward. That means primary time would be static and the time for time would be moving. But static and moving time are inherently contradictory states of time. Time cannot be both static and moving. So the unitary nature of time tells you that time has got to be either one or the other. Either it's static, a static dimension of time, or it's moving time, flows like a river. But it can't be both. They're contradictory states. So it's got to be one or the other. Um, Time can only be a static dimension. And the reason is because moving time requires two concurrent contradictory states of time, which is impossible. You can't have two contradictory states of time at the same time. So if you have moving time, that means that there has to be something that's moving the time, the static time. In other words, the time for the time, which means you have to have the static time, which is the primary time, and the time for time, which is the moving time. So you have to have those two states, contradictory states, existing concurrently, which is impossible, which means that the primary state of time always has to be static. Um, it doesn't move, uh, so it doesn't require any moving time. It's just one static dimension of time. There's no contradiction in that. So because of that contradiction, uh, time proves that superdeterminism is true. Now, if the future time uh, isn't caused by present moving time, because present moving time isn't real, but it's static, then future time must already exist. Because if it can't be caused by the present time, and yet we experience future time, that means the future time must already exist someplace. And that place would be the hidden static dimension of time in a block universe. So in under these circumstances, a present event cannot cause a future event, which means that cause and effect in physics aren't real. So if present time has to be static, that means it cannot cause future time and the events in the future. But the future time and its events must already exist because they can't be caused by the present, but they're experienced nonetheless when the future arrives, which means they must already exist in the future in a static dimension of time. So that also means that the present isn't causing the future and its future events, which means that the present cannot cause a future event or an effect, which means cause and effect in physics are not real. So time itself proves that we do live in a predetermined static block universe without cause and effect in physics. Now, I'll give you a moment to read the board. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that and you learned something. Take care.